What is up, guys? Lazybob here with a NASCAR The Game 2011 video racing at, well, Auto Club Speedway, but they call it Fontana. Anyway, it's California. I'm gonna be straight up honest with you guys. I suck lately at doing this. The only time I play in this game is when I'm trying to record videos. I very rarely play this game just to be playing it. And heading down here into the first corner, trying to get on the inside here of the 39, and the 18 decides to bump me in the corner, and we all just wreck. But somehow I wind up getting out of the wreck in second. You know, I'm just going to ride around here. This is a 10-lap race. But how about the NASCAR season so far? You had a pretty good Daytona 500. Dell Jr. Well, came in second. Ow. Just hit my hand on the desk. I'm good, though. But I have to say that so far, the rest of the racing has been kind of ho-hum, really, to say the least. And just recently, they overturned Jimmy Johnson's penalty. I guess they gave him the points back because he actually went into the second race of the season with negative points, negative 23. And I think they overturned everything, including Chad Knaus' suspension. Not sure about that. And also Bristol, you got Junior wrecking Jeff Gordon. But there's all going back and forth. It was intentional. It wasn't intentional. You know, if you're like me and you sit there and you listen to the radio, the entire race, Dell Jr.'s radio, because I have DirecTV with Hot Pass, there was, you could kind of hear it in his voice, so it was like, well, I really didn't mean to wreck him. I just wanted to bump him. You know, it's kind of one of those deals where, just one of those racing things. I don't think Junior had any intentions of actually just wrecking him into the wall, because they weren't really racing side by side that long. I mean, if anything, he would have wrecked somebody else. I can't remember who it was that had given him such a hard time, and finally bumped him out of the way. Yeah, he was very early on in the race, but can I just say with Bristol, Darrell Waltrip posted on his Twitter about the fact that Bristol was a little bit empty in the stands, and he said it's okay to blame the economy on not coming to a race, but don't blame not coming to the race on the racing on the track. And I have to say, Bristol did look a little empty. Now, one second here. The leader here, for some reason, quit. He was leading the race, he quit. So now I'm in first place, in the asshole Nitro 328. I think I've actually raced against him before. Who was he's a lap down, so he's down a second. I ain't worried about him. But back to what I was saying. You could tell that there was a lot of empty seats there in Bristol. They refrained from using a lot of wide-angle blimp shots or helicopter shots, whatever they use at Bristol. And I have to say, the problem is the racing there at Bristol now. You have a track that was known for, you know, the wrecking. You know, having 13, 14 cautions in a race and having half the field with damage, you know, that's what Bristol became known for. Then all of a sudden, you have these purists that are like, oh, we need to make it more about the racing and not the wrecking. So they redo it, add the extra groove with the progressive banking, and it changed the preferred line from the bottom to the top, and it's just, instead of, because you're already close to the wall, you can't really bump the guy out of the way, because all he's going to do is hit the wall and he's going to collect you. Where when the line was on the bottom, you can bump him and he can go up the racetrack and not get it to the wall, and you all could just go on your merry way. And being to Daytona, at least for either one of the races in the last 5 years, I can tell you, when it gets into a long green flag stint, it doesn't matter how good the action is on the track. As a race fan in the stands, you need a break. You don't have commercials when you're there live. You know, you need that time to just kind of, you know, just sit back and collect and think about what you just saw, and, you know, to collect your shit. But when you're there live and they get into these long hour and a half, 2 hour long green flag runs, it's just mind numbing. After about 30 minutes, it's like, okay, Come on, guys. Well, this is getting ridiculous. And, you know, you stop focusing on the actual racing. So, I mean, let's face it. Most of the fans at a NASCAR race are drunk off their asses. And they could care less about two cars driving side by side competitively. They just want to see something on fire and someone get hurt. That's all they want to see. They could care less about the athleticism of a driver being able to keep a car, you know, side by side with another without wrecking. They want to see the wreck. They don't want to see, you know, two guys just riding along side by side. They want to see them beating and banging against each other. And that was the whole point of the boys have at it deal at the beginning of last season. But for some reason, even though NASCAR has practically said, you know, have at it, guys, for some reason the drivers are a little afraid to get into one another. Not because of NASCAR putting penalties on them. They're worried about retaliation. It's kind of like, well, if I do something now to them at the beginning of the season, and if I get into the chase, that guy might come back and cause a problem for me. So it's a lot of give and take, and the reason why they're giving and taking is not because they want to play, well, they have to play nice. Even though NASCAR says, if you want to bump each other to the wall, do it. We're not going to say a word. But, you know, it's just one of those deals where the reason why I'm not going to Daytona this year is the racing. You know, in Daytona they fixed the tandem draft. I'm so happy that they fixed that. But it's still, there's still something about it that's not very appealing to watch live in person. But I mean, you know, they're taking steps towards the right direction. But especially with the new cars coming out, the cars are going to look a whole lot better next year. If you've seen the Toyota car, I mean not Toyota, if you've seen the Dodge, but if anyone's even going to be driving Dodge next season, everybody's going to Toyota and Ford. But anyway, I end up winning this race pretty shockingly because the other guy who had a clear win decided to quit. I don't get it. And for some reason, the computer sends me into the inside wall. And I don't know why he does that. I hope they fix a lot of this stuff at 12. And for some reason, the moment the race is over, I get kicked offline. So anyway, that's the race. That's my little rambling about NASCAR. I might post another video in a couple of weeks, you know, whatever. If there's a specific track you'd like to see me try to drive, except road courses, leave it down in the comments below, and I'll talk to you guys later.